So I escaped yet another sex trafficking area and group of people yesterday. Um, I was the place where I was actually just sitting making videos right prior before this. It's an area, Piedmont, West Virginia. It's where Piedmont meets Western Port, Maryland. And I stayed out there for a few months with this dork who I dated over 20 years ago. Now, he was a bad guy 20 years ago, too. He did a couple things. One thing in particular, which I didn't bring up to him or anyone else, but it's something that I definitely did not let go of or get over. It was something super messed up that I'm still not okay with. I didn't admit that to him. I didn't admit that I had any that I was upset from anything back in the day. And I went ahead and honest and openly gave this dude a chance to actually do right. He made it obvious that he was involved, first of all, by not admitting to me that anyone had offered him any. Basically, he wasn't like, hey, people offered me this and this to do this and this to you or to watch you or whatever. And, these people seem to be interested in you or have it out for you. He didn't do that. No one has done that yet. Especially not in person. There have been a couple people who basically outright told me that they had contracts on me and on others. Aside from that, and then there was a CPS worker who went ahead and wrote up that I was being sex trafficked and that she was taking my kid until I got my own place as a sex trafficking victim. Yeah, that's actually how they took my kid this last time. It's been over 2 years. I know that I messed up in a video the other day whenever I said that my boss poisoned me. I said a year and a half ago. Basically, if I don't sit down and take the time to write everything out before I say it, I will make stupid little mistakes like that, especially whenever it comes to time frames and years and how long I have to actually sit there and think for a second. But yeah, it was over 2 years ago when my boss poisoned me and I had a stroke and I had to, run away from those people and be on foot running while I was in Alabama, leave Alabama on foot. That was rough. So yeah, 20 years ago, one of the things that he did, and this is one thing that this is something that they'll especially do to Christian women, to gifted women, to basically any of these women that they're trying to hurt, anybody who's on their list. When the woman is giving birth, they'll make it to where the man leaves, and they'll generally have the man sleep with other women because you're in the hospital, right, having a baby, so you'll never catch them, even though you wouldn't have caught them any other time either. So they have to specifically betray you while you're laid up in the hospital after having a baby, and then they're supposed to all walk in with their friends while everybody's wasted and visit you after you had a baby in the hospital. That was a stunt that they pulled with my first kid and with my second kid. So and then they actually with my third kid too. And after they did it with my third kid, by the second kid, I realized that it was something that they were being either coerced or they were going along with it or whatever. But it's like half of them would be there with me and be like able to like actually be the person who I was dating and actually like level with me and be there for me. And then the other half of them was this completely other person who, I guess they were supposed to be behind my back and all. It was supposed to be a big surprise that I figured out like the day that my kid was born or something. Anyways, they would set this up every fucking time that I had a kid, and after, I had 3 kids. I almost had more than that. They've actually done these forced abortions and things like at least one. I'm not going to get into that this time, but I'm just saying that that all goes into this weird sex trafficking scandal shit, which has been going on since before I was born. One of the things that I would like to say is that I was taught, just like everyone else, to keep my mouth shut. I was introduced to marijuana really early on, and then I was introduced to this concept that we weren't supposed to and we weren't allowed to talk about it or admit or let on that we smoked pot. That if we did, that, you know, all the kids would be removed from their moms and all the moms would be deemed, you know, they would have got for child endangerment and all this. It was my mom telling me not to tell. There's a lot of my mother, my own mom, if that's really my mom, telling me not to tell a lot whenever I was very little, whenever I was still a toddler. All right. And then as a young teenager, I just washed my hair. So it's a little bit just pointing out that that's not oil, because someone made a video where it was almost like they were saying that my hair was oily when I had just taken a shower, because of course no one can actually say anything decent. They can just talk smack. Anyways, all of these people telling me, you know, don't tell, and you have to be quiet, and you can't let anybody know what other people are doing, and you can't divulge anyone's secrets or whatever, which I do believe in privacy, but no one else does. So I had an ex-boyfriend whenever I was like 18, 19 years old, showing me these videos and telling me not to tell, and, you know, keep your mouth shut. And I can't remember which movie it is where the dudes they're all gangsters and shit, and they're all like, keep your mouth shut. You know what I mean? It was a cool movie and stuff. But, you know, and then there's all these people all throughout who are like, you know, we got to keep our mouth shut. We got to, you know, and everything had to be so secretive, and it was all a big secret and blah, blah. But the whole reason, you know what I mean? The whole reason why it was a big secret, you know, after all this time and after all the money that these people have made, it was all a big secret because they were going to be sexually exploiting me. So as a, you know, toddler and as a kid, I'm told, don't tell, don't tell, don't tell. And, you know, I'm presented with this idea that what I'm not telling about is drugs. You know, is the fact that we're all smoking pot, or that we party once in a while. While these older dudes are flirting with me. Yeah, or they made it seem like, oh, we're not telling because we run this whole holler and we sell everything down here, and we've got all these guns and all this blah, 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 and we're fucking big shots down here or whatever. But the real reason why they're telling you to keep your mouth shut is because of all of the fucking videos that they made of you. Like, you guys should not, even to entertain yourselves, be allowing anyone to make any videos of you, like, not like that. No pictures, no videos. All of those people will turn around and sell those pictures and videos for well over 20 years. And you won't hear anything about it. You'll just be treated like complete dog shit by everyone in the fucking universe because of it for the rest of your life. No one will ever bother to tell you that you're one of the porn stars that they watch all the time, that they pay for. No one will bother telling you that they're watching your porn. They'll all just like keep it a secret and act like it's a big... They'll all just be going to church with you and keep it a secret. Everyone will treat you like shit and not say anything about it because some little fucking retard took a picture or a video of you when you were 18 years old, and it fucking has been selling ever since. You know, and it wasn't a good video. I mean, I had just given birth, so it was actually really sick the way that they went about doing it. They literally just took a video of me after I gave birth, and was all fat and nasty and stuff, so that they could show off to everybody how fat and nasty I am. Or whatever. Anyways, it's fucking retarded shit. It's the same fucking shit. It's this exploitation shit that they've been doing ever since I was a toddler. So anyways, everybody my whole life was like, don't tell, don't tell, don't tell. And whenever I was a kid and up through adulthood, I always thought that it was because of drugs that they were telling me not to tell. So I was a good little criminal type or whatever, keeping my mouth shut or whatever. And it's like, I wasn't really a criminal. I was a sex trafficking victim. And I was keeping my own mouth shut to the detriment of my children and I. I really didn't know who to tell anyways. And whenever I would try to speak up to authority figures, they would either offer me money to keep my mouth shut, or they would tell me that they were going to deal with it, or somebody would tell me that they dealt with it, and but nobody would. And still to this day, nobody will. When I make reports, it means absolutely nothing. It might as well have come from a fucking raccoon. So in the midst of being a slave, I'm also treated like I'm a complete nobody, like a ghost. Like nobody can even hear my voice. It's like I don't even exist. So yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about anyone telling anyone else to keep their mouth shut about anything. If it's a real criminal type crime ring syndicate thing or whatever, where everyone is, really active participants, none of them will ever have to be told to keep their mouths shut or to keep it a secret. The fact that anyone would ever have to tell anyone else to keep their mouth shut or to keep it a secret is fucking retarded. That should go without saying if we're actually dealing with real criminals and none of them are being manipulated or victims to the circumstance. Of course, yeah, sure, it's one thing to be like, oh, yeah, we'll probably get in trouble if people know that we're doing this or that. We might want to keep our mouths shut about this or that. But getting in trouble for pot, people finding out that you smoke a little bit of pot compared to all the other crimes that you could keep your mouth shut about. This is one of the reasons why pot just needs to be legalized. You know what I mean? Why just certain things need to be legalized so that they can stop being used by the sex trafficking network. So yeah, the place where I was just at, the dude was definitely sex trafficking his wife. I'm just going to go ahead and lay it out there for you like that. She's disabled. I'm pretty sure she gets a Social Security check. She lives in a house up on the mountain where he just keeps her there or whatever. She's supposed to be dying or whatever. She's apparently got it so bad that she's dying from it or whatever. And he is going up there and banging at her, and then he's going around and paying for prostitutes all over the place and spreading the same thing that she's dying of right now to whichever little hoochie mamas and prostitutes who he's picking up on now. Like, he ended up getting all this money, thousands of dollars and shit like that, while I was staying with him. And basically he started paying for somebody a couple towns away and just started acting really, really weird and really rude, really shitty. He cut me off of the communications at the house. He'd had me sign my name to the lease. He did not tell me that the rent increased. He didn't even let me see the lease. He just brought in a piece of paper that had the signature page. For some reason, the signature page was not attached to the rest of the lease. So I never got to see the lease that I was signing. He didn't even tell me that I was signing. Like, he told me that I was signing a paper that was for insurance. He did not tell me that the rent increased. I had to look around for the rental agreement because he had his rental agreement hanging on the wall. Well, apparently I just signed a lease. And there's a manager to an apartment that I live in. I don't know her. I don't have any way to contact her. I don't even know the bitch's name. So I looked around the house for the rental agreement, which was hanging originally. The original one was hanging up in one place. I went and looked for that so that I could get that bitch's name. And apparently she is kind of part of it. She's supposed to be the mayor of Piedmont or whatever. Well, she was really weird. She would, I guess, it kind of seemed like she was sneaking up to the apartment beside ours. Like, I saw her outside a few times. She acted like she was rushing up to try and catch us doing something. Which the only thing we were doing up there is fucking smoking pot anyways. That's like on the porch. But she acted like she was like rushing up to try and catch us or whatever, which was kind of scary. And I kind of went to go hide and stuff like that because of the way that she was acting and the vibes that she was putting off. Like, she was some kind of authority figure who was going to bust me. Like, chick, I'm literally just a fucking guest in this town. You really don't have to act all weird like that. super fucking annoying and weird. So yeah, she kept like going into the apartment beside mine that I just signed my fucking name to, that I just had to escape from basically. And it's super sounded like she was just sitting over there listening. It's like the walls are paper thin. It legit sounded like she was just sitting over there listening to me. And then like whenever I would stop talking or stop making a video, then she would start the washer or dryer. Whoever was over there, I don't even know if it was her, but that's what he told me. Anyways, there was an empty apartment beside us the entire time that I was there. I really needed a place really bad. I have needed a place for a really long time. Like I said, my identity was stolen. I don't have an ID. I don't have a birth certificate. I don't have a social security card. And the moment that I gain any of those things, they're stolen from me. The house that I'm sitting in right now, I ordered a social security card to almost 3 months ago, and I still haven't seen it. I don't know if it came here or not. I have to call the Social Security, Social Security Administration. I was supposed to do that today. Hopefully I'll still have time to accomplish that. But yeah, he was all like saying that he sends the guy across the street. There's like a few different dudes, I guess, who live in the general vicinity of his wife and their house. They're in Piedmont. And he says that he tells the guys when to cut her off and when to avoid her and when to like not give her anything. And then he tells the guys when it's good to go over there and use her or pretend that they want to be her boyfriends or pretend that they love her or whatever. Like, according to him, he was the one who was telling them, like, to go over and sleep with his wife. So, like, I would consider that sex trafficking. If you don't want to consider that sex trafficking for a guy to tell other dudes to go over and fuck his wife without her knowledge, I mean, I guess you can just choose not to consider that sex trafficking. Whatever, dude. That's super sex trafficking. The dude's definitely sex trafficking his stupid ass wife. And she is a dumbass too. She's almost not even worth fucking speaking up for because she's such a dumbass. But the fact is that she is fucking disabled and she is kind of trapped up on the fucking mountain, even though she's not really trapped because she gets all the fucking heroin and whatever else she wants, pills and dick and all that shit. I'm sure that still would not have been the life that she would have chosen. It's really not the life that I really don't think it's the life that anyone really fucking chooses if they really think deep. I know that there's a kid up there, not a little kid, but like a 19-year-old kid that's according to the dude that I was just living with, that kid learned how to defend himself against the dude whose house I just left, because he explained that the kid had already thrown stuff at him and tried to attack him and stuff like that. And as much as the person I was staying with wanted to talk down on the 19-year-old for that, I applaud that 19-year-old for learning how to defend himself against, this dumbass. Also, you can look these people's names up on Facebook and see where other people have written really foul and nasty things about them because of the way that they keep their homes and the way that they neglect their animals. And the animals are really badly neglected and not bathed. And I guess they were having pit bulls, making this pit bull have too many pups up there. Anyways, it sounds absolutely terrible. When I smelled the dog, she smelled like a meth lab, and I wasn't even trying to be polite about it. She smelled that bad that I had to tell the dude, like, your dog smells like a fucking meth lab, dude. I was like, you're going to have to tell that bitch to wash your dog if she's going to have, and he's like, well, it's not her job. It's the boy's dog. No, or it's the boy's. He said, it's the boy's job. The 19-year-old. He said, it's the 19-year-old's job to wash all these animals. I said, no, it's not. That bitch thinks that she can keep all those animals and take care of all those animals because she's just breeding them and selling the dogs, which is cruel as it is. She thinks that she can have all those animals and sell all those animals all the time. She should be able to bathe them. You know what I mean? How hard is it to bathe dogs, especially when you're selling them? I mean, they're being sold. You can't bathe any of them. So anyways, yeah, it was pretty bad. And I had to correct that dude in front of other adult men and say, actually, it's not the 19-year-old's job to clean the animals that you guys so selfishly and disgustingly hoard at your house that smells like a meth lab, a pissy, shitty meth lab. It's fucking disgusting. Like, I had to hold my breath. I was afraid that I was going to get sick being exposed to the dog. And I'm not sure that that isn't what made me sick. There's also a mold. There's also a really bad mold issue in that apartment that she was renting out. So it's like, no wonder she was only renting it for $150 a month, but they added me to the lease. And as soon as he saw that she added $150 to the month, that's when he started acting really stupid. He started acting like that extra $150, like I couldn't go out and make $150 a month to fucking pay for my own rent. Anyways, he was immediately like, well, $150 extra a month. He was like, I'm not even sleeping with this person. So now I have to, act retarded or whatever to get her out of here. Well, I started to worry that there were cameras around the house, just like everywhere else I go, because they put cameras everywhere. Even in the hotel rooms, before I go into the hotel rooms, they'll have the cameras ready. Well, I actually started to look around the house for cameras. And then at one point I was in the shower, and I made a video about this yesterday before I left. I was in the shower, and I went outside a few times and climbed the Maryland wall and went and smoked some pot on the Maryland River. But at some point, someone did come into the apartment, and they leaned over on a turtle shell that I had just moved to the corner of the table. They leaned over on that, and they pulled the cardboard down in the corner. There was some cardboard in the corner with like a hole cut out of it. Well, I had started to look at it like the night before, the day before, just to see if, just to see if there was something back there. Like, does somebody have a camera back there? Like, what is going on with this weird cardboard in the corner? And like I said, somebody came in while I was in the apartment by myself, after I had kind of just been poking around and looking around for the first time since I've been there, which it's a bad idea to look around for cameras while you're in a place where there's cameras. It's a really bad idea to do that. Your best bet in a place where you're surrounded by cameras is to pretend that you don't know what's going on, unless you know an exact place that a camera is, and you can walk right up to it and pull it out of wherever it is and then call the police or turn it in or whatever you have to do. It's better just to pretend that you don't know that you're being watched, because the moment that bad guys find out that you know that you're being watched, or the moment the bad guys realize that you know what's going on, then they all feel like that they need to panic and put you 6 feet under the ground so that you don't tell on them. It's super fucking retarded. So while I'm out here going through this on a regular basis because somehow I was volunteered for this, I have to be very careful what I say, how I act, what I let on, because most of these people that they send to interact with me in their schemy, criminal trafficking crap, most of those people don't actually know how experienced that I am in this. They don't realize that just by being sent to me and talking to me at all puts them at way more risk than I will ever be. But still, I have to act a certain way so that I don't let on to other people that I know that they are putting my life and my whole life and everything in danger, and that they don't have good plans or intentions for me, and that they're just trying to capture footage of me naked while after I get out of the shower or whatever, or they're hoping that they'll be able to get me to do something in their house so that they can get videos of it, or they got cameras up in their bathroom so that they can at least catch some footage of me getting naked as I get in the shower or whatever. And no one thinks that any of this is a problem, that this is this little nasty sex trafficking ring thing that I've been sent through the whole U.S. No one else is alarmed or worried or concerned about that. Oh yeah, what else is there? Missing person Luke Stout, his name comes up. And, the guy that I was staying with, who manipulated my name onto a lease or whatever that was, there's no telling what they're going to be doing with my signature, because everyone uses my signatures for like really weird stuff, like, buying whole businesses or brand new cars from other countries or entire houses. So yeah, he brings missing Luke Stout up, which we've all assumed was either dead, or there's a lot of people who like to say that there's a lot of people that like to say that Luke is on the witness protection list. That is something very easy for perpetrators. That's like an easy out for murderers to just spread the rumor around that the person that everybody's worried about or looking for was actually hired by the feds, and that's why we don't see him. And that the feds, after hiring someone, while they work for the feds or while they're on witness protection program, that we still have missing posters for them out and around here to just deceive the public and to try to get their help and attention for no fucking reason. Yeah. So yeah, I knew Luke Stout. He wasn't my best friend or anything. He was one of the kids at the skate park. There's been lots of kids at the skate park. I'm actually in Buchanan, West Virginia right now. I'm not afraid to say that. A lot of people know that. The worst of my enemies are right here with me, and they know that I'm here. Luke is just one of the missing or dead people that has gone on within my lifetime, and in my adulthood, and while I've sort of kind of been around in a way. Luke he was a really good skateboarder. He was a little BMX dude. He was younger. He was a little bit younger than me. Anybody would have liked Luke. Like, Luke was super cool. Well, apparently, they've looked for Luke in a few different places, but this dude who I was just staying with, he told me that Luke is buried, and I'm just telling you guys what I was told, okay? As for whether it's true or not, I don't know, because I didn't go look for myself. I'm not the one who, attacked and killed and buried the dude. I tried to be involved in this before now. Luke's mom actually asked me to find Luke, but she passed away. And I know Luke has a brother. I don't think his brother, I know he's got more than one brother. I don't think that they are involved in him being missing, but I can't be 100%. I heard from the Trafficker loser that I was just staying with, that Luke is supposed to be, hang on a second, let me give you a map. Okay, so see where this is the Po Bridge? And there's supposed to be this trailer park, that trailer park from the Po Bridge where you guys set these assholes up to have this dog jump on me back when I was a delivery driver. Yeah. So you go down the Po Bridge, and instead of going left towards the valley and all that shit, you turn right and you go down to the end of that trailer park where there's supposed to be a dude named Davey Knight. I don't know him. He's supposed to live down there. But according to the dork who I was just staying with, some gal was staying at Davy's, some gal was staying over there, and according to her, they had Luke in the ground, and they were all showing up and throwing handfuls of lime on him, and that they covered him up with cement or something like that. I don't know. It's the fifth different place that I've been told Luke Stout might be. It's the first time that I've ever heard that he might be there. So, like, I can't tell you whether or not there's really a body there. I can't tell you whether or not it's specifically Luke. But from the sounds of things, we've been given another, somebody told me a story. They gave me a place. They gave me a name. So, I know that Luke was supposedly killed because of one of the Mexican guys who was around here that worked. I guess the guy's name was Chino, and he worked with this Mexican restaurant over here. I actually ate at that restaurant a few weeks ago and was poisoned. Yeah, I was. Don Patrons. I don't know whether or not I was poisoned by someone who was working or if I was poisoned by the douchebag who I just ran from. Because there was this out to eat thing that happened several times, and each time the out to eat thing would happen with the guy whose house I just left from, I would be poisoned. So he actually seemed like he was more so working with maybe the people who worked in these restaurants and stuff, and he was letting them know, like, hey, I'm here. And I know that whenever I was at Don Patron's, I went to the bathroom, and the waiter came and ordered their food. It was like they all waited for me to go to the bathroom, and then he came and ordered my food after he'd already ordered their food. So it was like my order came in last. I started to, for a little while, do this thing where, sorry, you guys, my hair drives me nuts. I think that I look absolutely terrible on here. I can't even stop, like, touching myself. I'm not happy with my, homeless look. I really wish that I could afford to do more than this. It's really aggravating for me to have gone my entire life waiting to be pulled out of slavery so that I can live like other women, so that I can do things like take care of myself, get my hair cut, maybe wear a little bit of makeup, wear clothes that actually fit and that I actually like. I've never experienced that in my whole life, you guys. Anyways, so I escaped Piedmont. Apparently, Piedmont Westernport does not have a police presence. So the sex traffickers and all the other little douchebags there just, I guess, act like they run the place. Prostitution is supposed to be a thing there, I guess, as it's a thing everywhere. I mean, for a nation that talks so bad about prostitutes and calls everybody hoes and hookers and everything, for a nation that absolutely disrespects its women, the number one thing I swear the dudes spend their money on is prostitutes, either in person or online. It's like all these dudes only go to work so that they can pay for prostitutes. It's like they only even have homes so that they have a place to sleep with prostitutes. They're only paying for their car payments and their everything else so that they can pick up prostitutes. It's legit like the entire everything revolves around these dudes and their ability to get prostitutes or to have women in their homes, to be able to record us, whatever. Oh, geez. I went like a full week almost without having the money for my phone, while my housemate who helped me right up until like a week ago, and he had, you know what I'm saying, like had all this money and stuff and was helping in so many different ways, but not like, so this is what they do is they're told to not help me. They're all told to not help me. So when they do help, it's like in weird little ways, like, we might go to the Goodwill and get something, or, I'll be super lucky and fortunate if they help me turn my phone on or something like that. But because I'm not sleeping with any of these dudes, and because they have every woman on the planet on this reward system, it means that I don't get anything. So basically, all the prostitutes and all of these other women who are willing to put out or to be manipulative or to give from their own bodies to these guys, they're the ones who are deemed worth, helping with things or whatever. Like, these people pushed me out on the streets. They made it to where I couldn't work. They've done everything that they can to make it to where I basically have to ask other people for help or be dependent on other people, which really sucks. It's way easier for me to be in an area where I could just fly a sign, hold a cardboard sign asking for help, and then the people who can give just go up and hand me the money, rather than me being placed in these situations where I have to ask for help or where I'm expected to give something like my own body in exchange for, keeping my phone on or keeping a roof over my head or having a soft place to lay on at night. Yeah. So basically, all of the women in the world are on this reward system where we're expected to suck somebody's dick or be somebody's lover or be somebody's little slave bitch. And that's the only way we can just get even just a little bit that we need to get by. Which it would actually, like, for me to actually have everything that I need and want, everything that would actually be like, I can't even, like, a person would have to be willing to spend thousands, if not tens of thousands, to be able to, what I mean? I need an attorney. I need a place to live. I need a number of things, and I'm really not willing to sell myself for those things. So rather than selling myself for those things, okay, I've been waiting for law enforcement to like swoop in and be like, oh, we're the rescue that you need, but they haven't done that. So yeah, I don't want to make this video too awful long, but just trying to give everyone an update about my situation and that I'm this invisible person who yet again had to escape from sex traffickers who had begun to interfere with my communications. While I was making videos to try to get help for my kid, everyone thought it would be really funny to just cut off my internet entirely, to cut me off of the household internet where I lived. And there was a place right across from us, this restaurant called Ducky's in Piedmont. And they had employees who were working there specifically kicking my device off of their internet as part of this sex trafficking and slavery campaign. For people to go out of their way to take one person and to make sure that that one person does not have communication in any way, and we're going to bully and we're going to make sure that that person is stuck up in that apartment with a fucking sex trafficking little bitch, and that she doesn't have any comms at all. She doesn't have any transportation. She doesn't have anyone to speak to at all. She doesn't even know her fucking manager's name on a fucking lease that they just had. I don't even know the bitch's fucking name. I had to take a picture of her name. And they're going to work with the bitches next door to even cut me off of the Wi-Fi at the store. And it's not just by chance. It wasn't just an accident, because the TV that I stare at all day in that apartment, the Roku TV, is hooked up to the Ducky's 2.4 Wi-Fi, and it never got kicked off of their Wi-Fi at all. The only person who ever got kicked off of Wi-Fi were my devices. So they're very specifically part of the sex trafficking ring and sex trafficking issue, employees of that Ducky's place. Yeah, I'm calling you out. I don't care. Pretty much everybody in that general area, the restaurants and stuff like that, they all work with sex traffickers and murderers to have people poisoned. And that's just one stupid ass little West Virginia town where people are allowed to do whatever they want. And it's right across the border of Maryland to Maryland and stuff like that. And Westernport, Maryland seemed to be undergoing the same thing. Nobody's looking out for them either. The same shit's going to be happening there across the bridge that's happening in West Virginia as well. Now, I had to hitchhike to get out there to begin with because the people here in Buchanan didn't want to give me a ride away from here because they have to have me here, watching me here, so they all get paid to keep me here or whatever. So I had to hitchhike to Piedmont because, you know, no one will take me to another area, and the guy out there didn't even have his own car yet, or if he does, it's everything that they have is basically run into the ground. They're super disgusting. The only reason why the dude even has a truck now was because I talked him into buying a fucking truck, which I shouldn't have done, because now he looks like somebody who's got his shit together, and he super fucking does not. He's disgusting. So I hitchhiked back here. It took me all day to make the 2-hour journey back here because of just the sheer amount of people who were trying to intercept me and throw me off. They even had this one retard come out and be like, oh, I'm going to give you a ride, and then just not come back out for a fucking hour. And then come back out and be like, oh, I can't give you a ride after all because I've been drinking, and why don't you stay the night here? And shit like that. And that's what they'll do all across the fucking United States. They'll have these dudes come out, act like they're trying to help, but they're all just trying to get laid, and there's no one for them to get laid by because they all turned into Ted Bundys and they had to secretly fucking kill all these women that they're sex trafficking. So now you don't have any women to fuck anymore, dumbasses. That's why they have to lock these women in one room in these little cells and just hand them to 30 different dudes all day long because they don't have enough respect or intelligence to actually keep these women alive and in good health and in decent condition. They literally just treat them like shit and whittle them all the way down to where there's only so many of us left. They're not even going to let us know how many of us is actually left out here. And the United States would actually have to take a census, a real one, and actually make sure that the answers that people gave were real and that they didn't have other extra people doing their censuses or people lying in their censuses and all that stuff. Like, people would actually have to do that to even find out whether or not how many women are even left, because I can tell you that a shitload of them are fucking dead and gone. I didn't do that. I'm not the one who did that. So I hitchhiked back here. Like, I have to hitchhike everywhere because I don't have a driver's license or any identifying documents because these people keep stealing all of my documents and my ID, my cell phones, my accounts, everything. So I've been completely without out here basically for fucking years. I was basically without even before that. Like, yeah, sure, there was like a second there where I worked at a Pizza Hut and I had a little bit of money. Don't you guys know that I went without my entire life? Yeah, because you guys had me trapped in these apartments with these kids where you were desperately trying to fucking sex traffic us with fucking cameras in our apartments and all kinds of shit. So yeah, that's just an update on my situation and this sex trafficking situation that fucking no one can seem to get me out of. And there's a little bit more information about dead bodies and shit since, you know, me and my kids aren't interesting enough, and rescuing us isn't interesting enough. I have to solve all these fucking crimes and homicides and shit out here for anybody to listen to anything I have to say. I'm like Harriet the Spy out here, my crappy little magnifying glass. Sherlock fucking Holmes. So cool, yeah. Peace out.